I guess we can start with the beginning. Um, Pretty much how it goes is right now I'm in my car and it's raining. I have some tape and I was going to sculpt something with, and I started working on a creature a little while ago. I was watching some of my footage that I did from last week and just trying to make sense of everything. A lot of things have happened since last week. I'm up to day 6 of dealing with separation anxiety with my family, with my wife, not my wife, with my kids. My wife and kids are, my wife and my younger 2 kids are with me. Right now I'm just in the car. I had to park it because we have this thing called inside parking. So today I was in Target. I was making this little critter right here, but we're gonna walk. I'm gonna walk home. So it's not gonna be a long live stream because I have to home between the rain and stuff, and I'm just not and I thought I'd be consistent and try to make a nice video of sorts. So I'll make a nice video of sorts, and that was my thing. I just trying to make it. So I better get up before people. Oh, just drop my keys in the pocket. Oh, fix that panel. That panel needs some fixing. All right, got my keys. All right, so here we are, and I gotta make sure I lock this door. Make sure I lock it. Okay, so I'm gonna do a nice little walk home with my hood. What's up here? Ow. Oh, ow, that hurt. Oh, goodness. Alright, cool. Ow. Sorry about that. Okay, so what happens is, I have to just kind of do the whole walking thing. And so I have the walking stick thing. Really? Okay, so let's see if the sound is good. Ow, get my head on this thing. Alright, so for the most part, sorry. I keep hitting my head into the thing. Alright, so let's start at the beginning. So last week I started doing some recaps about the days and how the days have been going. And we did a long drive from upstate. It was a good 5-hour drive. It ended up being more than 5 hours. I'm having a hard time focusing here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Let me see if I can just get all my stuff calibrated properly. First and foremost, I gotta put this little creature inside my pocket here. Land this thing real quick. Land this tripod, this monopod. Landed in the rain real quick so I gotta get my hands free. Alright, cool. So what happens is that pretty much I am going to put this in my inside pocket because I have an inside pocket here. I will get my hands free and organize myself a little bit better. I keep hitting this thing with the thing. Oh goodness, my friends, it's been a pretty interesting day so far. Make sure my shoelaces don't get messed up. Okay, cool. So what has happened is that pretty much my family and I did a trip. We went to put the kids up into camp. It's actually kind of a work program where they get a chance to actually have the first scholarship. It's part of a scholarship program where they work during the summer, like a volunteer type thing. And incidentally, what happens is that when they finish working on it, they get a chance to actually have a scholarship towards college. And so it's the alma mater where we went to school, and so pretty much it's pretty cool. But it was a whole process of just going through this whole separation anxiety thing I've been talking about. Let me just take this with me real quick. Let's go for a walk. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can reorganize this a little bit better. Let me see if this is better here. Okay, this one here. Okay, good. We'll take this with me. I keep hitting this umbrella, trying to walk in the rain, trying to do all this. I don't know how my friend Rachel does this, but anyway, able to focus and do this. But for me, I'm just kind of, right, so here it goes. This is it, right? So here it is. Hey, Brandon Barnes. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Okay, so what happens is I've been talking the last couple of days. I've done a video every single day, a short 3-minute video about just kind of going through the whole thing regarding separation anxiety. Now, I don't think maybe I have the real understanding about it because they say whenever you're suffering through something, it's necessarily, sometimes you don't know what it is, but the very fact that you know what it is means that you can actually identify with it. Like, for example, oh my word. You're the best one yet. Oh, thank you. And so what happens is this, right? So what happens is you have this thing here where they say when you know what's wrong, you can actually fix it. For example, if you know the plumbing's broken in the house, you know exactly what pipe needs to be fixed. You're head and shoulders above most people who don't even know where the leak's coming from. So if you can fix that pipe, replace it, that's good. So in this situation, I know that the kids are going to come back in 9 weeks. I know that we're gonna have them. We're gonna be different, like we're talking about. Yeah, bro, you look. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. It's been a while, man. So what happens is like I have been just kind of like just dealing with the whole thing, and it's like it's one of those things where here's like I'm under the trees right here, so I can fix this up a little better. Hard to do this. Let me see if I can just further out. Maybe it's further out. It's better. Okay. Well, anyway, so what happens is like my scenario and situation is that my family and I, we're so closely knit, closely tightly knit, right? That what happens is that when we go together, we go a lot of things places together. Like for example, we do the movies, we do the. I didn't even check which side of the street this thing is on. Dang, I gotta go back. All right, I gotta go back. I forgot what side of the street on. You have this thing called alternate side parking, right? And alternate side parking is when you park your car in New York, and you have to move it along, because if you don't move it, they'll give you a ticket because they have a thing called the street sweepers, and they come in, and what they do is that they actually clean the streets, or I guess attempt to. Sometimes they do a really good job. Sometimes they do because most times when cars are there, they have this thing where they don't people have the cars parked, and so they don't get a good cleaning. But see what's supposed to happen, like in most towns, you have it where people actually clean up their street in front of their house, right? So thank you so much, Brandon. Totally appreciate it. And so what happens is like I got to make sure my car's on the right side of the street, because if it's on the wrong side of the street, what'll happen is that I'll get a nice juicy $65 ticket, and money's kind of tight. Okay, so it's on a Thursday side. Good. The car is parked on a Thursday side, and it's over. Okay, good. So I'm good. Okay, let's try it again. Let's walk back. So we're good on a Thursday side. Now let's continue on with our journey. My thing was this, right? For the most part, though, and these shoes are way better than the other shoes I had. Every time I take a step on my other shoes, it's like shockwaves to the brain, but this one absorbs every shock, so that's great. Like I was saying before, when you know that something's wrong, you can actually begin to fix it. You can actually begin to do the work to actually, begin mitigating. Oh, look, a cat. There's a cat right there. Hey, kitty. Hey, kitty. There's a cat right there. See? Black cat crossed my path. It's a black cat. It crosses my path. Oh. Okay, so what I was saying is this, right? For the most part, you have this thing where it's just a matter of just find out what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I just kind of mitigating the problem. So that's usually the situation. Easy solve, easy fix when you know what the problem is. So that's why it's like people who know they have anxiety, you actually have heads and shoulders. You can actually find out what the solution is. Because if you know that your problem is with the future, you have to cling on to a present day situation, and you have to really trust God, because we don't know the future, and we can't assume the future is going to be bad just because we've had a couple of bad things happen, potential outcomes. I had this thing happen at work where I got a chance to talk to some of my bosses about some things. I can't get into details because you know how it is. You can't talk about too many things online. But one of the things was that I was actually honored because something the boss said was like, he wanted me to. He was concerned about what I thought about a certain thing, right? And to me, that meant a lot because I've been through so many situations where there's so many people who don't care about what I think, And it's not that I have to be the center of attention, the center of the universe, or anything like that. But one thing for sure is that, if you talk, you want to be heard, You want to have people who actually hear what you have to say. And you don't want to be just one of those people who, when you speak, nobody hears you, Because the reason is because you're just talking to yourself. My shoelace keep going outside. I should just take a second and tie my shoelace, what I should do. But, ow, sorry about that. Oh, gotta go. Bye. Thanks so much, Brendan, for watching. I appreciate that. Alright, so, for the most part, that's the street I'm not right into. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that I'm just kind of like walking and trying to get to the house, but I'll tell you more stuff. I couldn't sculpt today because I don't have a free hand to sculpt. I'm busy trying to walk and not get hit by buses and stuff, and so I'm just trying to get home safe. But I wanted to just kind of make sure you guys understood that we're going through stuff, but it's not insurmountable. It's not like it's impossible. Now, I mean, there are people who've gone through stuff, who go through a lot of stuff, and the stuff that they go through is like, they've gone through like loss of family members. and gone through sadness and stuff, and some serious sadness of things that don't come back. Lord willing, my situation is going to get better in 9 weeks regarding my own children, and it's going to get better because what happens is that my children will come back to me, you know, in one piece. And so hopefully it will come back smarter, it will come back better, and that in of itself is something tremendous. So when I have like a situation where like this, and I hear people talk about being overwhelmed by the situation, it really comes down to, realizing that we're really not in control, and you have to understand you're not in control. What happens is, right, I'm crossing a major street right now. Across a major street. So when you realize that you're not in control, that kind of takes a huge step. Like, for example, when I'm driving my car, I know I have to be alert 100%. You can't check your cell phone, you can't be on the phone, you can't be distracted even with the music, right? You have to be 100% alert because some kid could jump out of the way, a bear could run into the street, a deer could run into the street, a meteorite could fall from the sky, all kind of stuff, Could be a Godzilla, could be Bigfoot, could be a werewolf, all kind of things. You have to be aware, and then it could be bad drivers, so you have to be aware of that stuff. So when you have a situation where you're kind of like, you're doing things, what happens is that you have to be alert. But when you sit in an airplane, you might be nervous about the plane flight, but you have to come to grips with that. You're not flying the plane. And the other people you have to trust completely to fly the plane for you. Or even another thing, you have to trust them to not just fly the plane, but also to pack your bags, make a meal for you, take your tickets, make sure that, you're going to the right destination. Also, make sure that they took care of the plane before you got onto the plane. And all these things won't change whether you worry or not. So if you worry about it, it doesn't do anything except takes away your peace, And that's one of the things. That's why it's like, the more I dig into this whole social separation anxiety thing, being anxious about the situation that I can't control, the more I'm beginning to it's losing its power. Because I'm trusting more and more that God will take care of them, It's like, I think about the fact that my son has a bike, and when he has a bike with him, a million things can go wrong with having a bike. But then I thought, I was asking my dad about thoughts regarding this and how it was when it was my turn, when I left, when I was in college and stuff. How was it for him? And I don't think he put much thought into it, I don't think much thought into the whole situation. He didn't really have any advice to give. He just kind of said, well, you got to do it and you just got to go through it. That was kind of it, But for me, it was like, I realized how much I spent time with my kids, and I have 4 kids, and my wife and I, we made this wonderful family together, and it's just like one of those things where you don't want anything wrong to happen, but then you really can't stop that. Like they said in Nemo, if you don't let nothing happen to him, then nothing will happen to him, And so there comes a point where they have to go out there and make some decisions and do some things and make some mistakes and learn from them, They have to be cataclysmic, but definitely they have to go out there and live. So, with that being said, that's an aspect of you have to just trust God will lead them, and your teaching that you taught them, it will be good enough, and that they'll be responsible for their attitudes and their actions, and that, it's just a matter of us coping and learning to let go, like the song says, let it go, can't hold it back anymore, so you gotta let it go, way, and close that door. So what you have to do, you have to kind of make that decision, and that's how it goes, So here I walk in rain. My favorite weather is rain, by the way. I like it better than snow. Actually, I hate the snow. I superiorly hate the snow because snow is just cold, and it's beautiful in pictures and on a mountain somewhere, but it's not fun when you have to shovel it. Not fun when you have to ride your bike through it. But rain, on the other hand, rain does this thing where it cleanses the land. Rain makes everything so much better, So when you come in contact with the rain just makes everything so much better. It just kind of, rinses everything, unless of course it's a monsoon, and that's not good, or heavy downpours. For the most part, there's just a simple rain that helps the grass grow, that cleans the air, cools the temperature. That rain is very good. And what it does is that actually makes life way better in the long run, because it helps things grow. I mean, God made this world very awesome. This raindrop, there's several tons of rain above our heads. tons and tons of water droplets, megatons of water above our heads, and it comes and doesn't even hurt us. And if the worst rain doesn't hurt us, you know? The worst possible sensation of rain does not do damage to us. Oh, and so what happens is like, you have this thing where when you're going through this thing, you just want to make sure that every single thing you do is not based on fear. Because, you know, there's no way to live if you're fearful. If you're fearful of going through struggle, that's no way to live. As a matter of fact, the Bible says fear is torment, and a person who is afraid has not been made perfected in love, right? So what can we be afraid of? We're afraid of a lot of things. What can we rise above? We can rise above a lot of things too. So, you know, I'm almost home, so I just wanted to kind of like not belabor a point, but I just wanted to say, I didn't make a preacher or a character today. I didn't roll up, make a preacher, but tomorrow I have a live class that we're going to be doing. I might put it on live or put it on the members channel, but it's going to be one of those things. So if you want to, definitely join up on the members channel. Join up and see my art there. I have a members channel here on YouTube, and that it's only like $4 a month to join. You join that, you get to see all my other features that I can't show on YouTube per se, but you can see that. Some of my cool artwork. I put some new ones so you can actually see. But for the most part, though, I want to say God bless you. Thank you so much for watching and for listening and all of the above. But for the most part, though, I just want to say thank you for just your continual support. So I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to go into my house and contemplate how we're going to get through this night. All right, so God bless you. Talk to you soon, and bye-bye.